Thinking about starting a business in France? You're not alone, but many first-timers fall into the same traps that can derail their dreams before they even begin. Starting a business abroad can be a thrilling venture, offering the promise of new markets, customers, and revenue streams. It's an opportunity to tap into a global economy, to think outside the box, and to forge new connections. But, along with the potential rewards, come some significant pitfalls that can turn what seemed like a great idea into a costly mistake. Many entrepreneurs are drawn to the allure of foreign markets, seduced by the promise of untapped resources and customers. But it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and neglect the fundamentals. It's crucial to remember that every country has its unique set of rules, regulations, and cultural nuances that can trip you up if you're not prepared. So, what are the common pitfalls that new entrepreneurs face when starting a business abroad? From cultural misunderstandings to legal issues, financial miscalculations, and more, there are plenty of obstacles waiting to derail your venture. In recent years, we've seen a significant surge in entrepreneurship in foreign markets. Globalization has opened up new avenues for business owners, and the rise of technology has made it easier than ever to connect with customers worldwide. However, this increased accessibility has also led to increased competition, making it even more critical to get things right from the start. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, the opportunities for entrepreneurs to expand their horizons have never been greater. But with these opportunities come new challenges, and it's essential to be aware of the potential pitfalls that lie ahead. The trend towards international entrepreneurship is undeniable. More and more entrepreneurs are taking the leap, establishing businesses in foreign markets, and reaping the rewards. But we mustn't forget that this trend is built on the backs of pioneers who have faced and overcome the challenges that come with starting a business abroad. Today, we're going to explore the specific pitfalls you need to avoid when starting a business abroad. From cultural faux pas to financial mismanagement, we'll delve into the common mistakes that can make or break your venture. One of the most significant pitfalls is cultural misunderstanding. When you enter a new market, you're not just selling a product, you're selling to a unique culture with its own set of values, customs, and expectations. Failure to understand these nuances can lead to costly mistakes, from branding blunders to product flops. Another pitfall is legal issues. Every country has its own set of laws and regulations, and ignorance of these can land you in hot water. From trademarks to tax compliance, it's essential to do your due diligence and understand the legal requirements of your new market. Financial miscalculations are another common mistake. Foreign markets often have different financial systems, exchange rates, and tax structures, making it easy to get lost in the numbers. Without a thorough understanding of these systems, you can end up with a financial headache that's hard to cure. Marketing misadventures are also a common pitfall. When you enter a new market, you need to adapt your marketing strategy to the local culture, language, and preferences. Failure to do so can result in a marketing campaign that falls flat, wasting valuable resources and time. Language barriers can also be a significant obstacle. When you're doing business in a foreign language, it's easy to get lost in translation. Miscommunications can lead to misunderstandings, and misunderstandings can lead to mistakes. Overconfidence is another pitfall that can trip you up. Just because you've had success in one market doesn't mean you'll automatically succeed in another. It's essential to approach each new market with a humble attitude, willing to learn and adapt to the local environment. Lack of market research is another common mistake. When you're entering a new market, it's easy to rely on assumptions or anecdotal evidence. But without thorough research, you're flying blind, and that can lead to disaster. Inadequate preparation is another pitfall that can derail your venture. Starting a business abroad requires a lot of groundwork, from setting up infrastructure to establishing relationships with local partners. Without adequate preparation, you'll be scrambling to catch up, and that can be costly. Managing remote teams can also be a challenge. When you're working across different time zones, languages, and cultures, it can be tough to keep everyone on the same page. Without the right systems and processes in place, you can end up with a team that's misaligned and unproductive. Another pitfall is failing to understand the local competition. When you enter a new market, you're not just competing with local businesses, you're also competing with other international players. Without a thorough understanding of the competitive landscape, you can end up getting left behind. Adapting to local customs and traditions is also essential. When you're doing business abroad, you need to be sensitive to local customs and traditions. Failure to do so can lead to cultural faux pas that can damage your reputation and relationships. Failing to get the right visas and work permits is another common mistake. When you're moving staff or setting up operations in a foreign country, it's essential to get the right visas and work permits. Failure to do so can lead to legal issues, fines, and even deportation. Inadequate insurance coverage is another pitfall that can leave you vulnerable. When you're doing business abroad, you need to have the right insurance coverage to protect yourself against unexpected events. Without it, you can end up facing financial ruin. Ignoring the importance of networking is another mistake. When you're starting a business abroad, it's essential to build relationships with local partners, suppliers, and customers. Without a strong network, you can end up isolated and struggling to make connections. Overlooking the importance of localizing your product or service is another common pitfall. When you're entering a new market, it's essential to adapt your product or service to the local culture, language, and preferences. Failure to do so can result in a product that doesn't resonate with local customers. Lack of flexibility is another pitfall that can trip you up. When you're doing business abroad, things don't always go according to plan. You need to be adaptable, flexible, and willing to pivot when circumstances change. So, what are the consequences of falling into these pitfalls? The consequences can be severe, from financial losses to damage to your reputation and even personal relationships. When you start a business abroad, you're not just investing your money, you're also investing your time, energy, and reputation. If you're not prepared, you can end up losing everything you've worked for. The consequences of cultural misunderstandings can be particularly severe. When you offend local customs or traditions, you can damage your reputation and relationships, making it hard to recover. Legal issues can also have serious consequences. If you're found to be in breach of local laws and regulations, you can face fines, penalties, and even legal action. Financial miscalculations can lead to financial ruin, and that can have a ripple effect on your personal life, relationships, and even your health. Marketing misadventures can lead to wasted resources, damaged relationships, and a loss of credibility. These pitfalls are not just mistakes. They're warning signs that you're not prepared for the challenges of starting a business abroad. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. There are many entrepreneurs who have navigated these challenges and come out on top. Take the example of entrepreneurs like Richard Branson, who have built global empires through their ability to adapt, innovate, and take calculated risks. As Richard Branson once said, "The best way of learning about anything is by doing." When it comes to starting a business abroad, this quote rings particularly true. So, what can you do to avoid these pitfalls? The key is to be aware of them, to do your research, and to be prepared to adapt to the local environment. Remember, starting a business abroad is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You need to be in it for the long haul, willing to learn, adapt, and overcome the obstacles that come your way. In conclusion, starting a business abroad can be a thrilling venture, but it's essential to be aware of the pitfalls that can derail your dreams. By understanding the common mistakes that entrepreneurs make, you can avoid them and set yourself up for success. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about strategies for success in international business, check out our video on the top tips for expanding your business globally.